Now, believe it or not, we all have safe queens. This is a safe queen for me.
Oh, boo.
I can't believe it. Yes, I only have one, and this one is mine.
Safe queen. Oh my God.
It's a safe queen, and it shouldn't be.
No, it's not going to be when I make you crash on it.
No! Maybe I can borrow your 9. I am familiar with it. It is a BK9, if I can get it out of a little sock.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. So this is your choice for winter.
This is my choice for winter.
It's interesting because it has the nice fall oak leaves on it.
It does, it does, it does.
See, it's screaming fall.
It is
screaming fall.
It is. And so what I realized in my winter activities is it's not about the enjoyment, okay? I could carry a little neck knife to do some small feather sticks and things like that. But what I'm looking for in the winter is to make absolutely sure myself, my family, the party I'm with in the forest, we're safe. And this is about personally as big as I would like to go to get that, again, chopping of boughs, branches. You know, you need bigger logs the colder the weather. So if you're bucking up, you know, 6-7 inch rounds, you know, and the wind is cranking, it's 10 degrees in some places, as you know, it's, you know, 30-40 below. I personally don't feel comfortable working with a larger knife. I have other knives at this exact size capacity, but considering we're talking about a Becker for every season, this is my winter friend.
Oh my God. And I mean, the second I saw the handles poking out, I was like, wow. That is gorgeous. So these are knife connection scales?
Knife connection scales.
That's the
G10.
jam, huh? Yep.
Yep. They're not going to absorb any water. They're not going to get slippery. The G10 performs extremely well in extremely cold temperatures, for me.
Now, this feels great in my hands, but the first thing I've noticed is these are smaller than the standard scales, huh?
Much thinner.
Wow.
For me, not having large sized hands, again, medium to bordering large, I felt that the Grivery or the aftermarket micarta was a little bit fatter, so I wanted to narrow it down a little bit. Again, when you're cold, your dexterity is way down, accidents are going to happen, and typically when we're trying to make that fire or shelter, it's a little bit too late. Okay, it's getting dark.
Yes.
So I wanted a good lock, and for my hands, those knife connection scales fit like a glove.
I mean, these are absolutely beautiful. I can say that they are the perfect size for my hands as well. You know, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the thumb ramp? Now, if you look at our Beckers, we've kept our thumb ramps, but I know a lot of people grind that off. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the execution on that thumb ramp is perfect. There are other manufacturers, you know, give you an example, I love my Bark River Bravo one. I love it. And I know that they've advertised that that ramp is was installed to help spark fires, okay, and it will throw sparks in the ferro rod. It'll notch them out pretty good, but you have the option of ramp or rampless with that line. Here, with the Becker series, especially their larger blades, the 7 and 9, I just thought it's executed perfectly. Not too aggressive, no tearing up, and again, for extraction, you know, you can push, but if you need to get it out, if you don't have the choil, you get a little bit extra to help you pull it out. Plus the lock, you're getting that knife out. You're getting a good lock on extraction. So that's my thought. Yeah. But it can be ground down just as easy.
Good point. And I think something we haven't touched on yet is, with this BK line, you get that exposed pommel. Now, not that you're going to go smashing up on your knife connection scales, but you know what? You actually could do it, and they'd probably be fine.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's also executed perfectly. I've seen exposed pommels that, let me show you something, that are way too sharp or aggressive, or you put a glass breaker on a bushcraft knife. And again, when you're starting to do some swinging, okay, if that thing's going to dig into you, you're not going to chop with it. This is just perfect. I've never gotten a hot spot from the pommel of any Becker, and I tell you what, with a knife this big, if you did lop it into a log, a stump, something that you can't get out, or you're almost to the point of cracking that wood, I mean, you could send that all day, and I've done it. It's just a nice feeling. And even if you did break through a little bit, your log conformed a little bit, you hit the points of those knife connection scales or the, you know, the aftermarket micarta, it's no problem. They're not going to break. And I have seen people with the scales removed grind those down or round them out, so bring a little bit more exposed metal. You have the option. There's plenty of meat on those scales to do it. But that would be my winter blade. And the sheath, a gentleman who I got familiar with, and it's been a couple years. It's a couple years old, actually. We could do a close-up, but I'm hoping I pronounced it right. Joseeinc. So that's a Jose or Josie. But great gentleman. You get to know him. I'll send you pics of the build. I personally put that together in my mind. I wanted it kind of deep pocket, bushcrafty, the option for dangle or even belt carry on a backpack, so a good 2.5, I think 3 inch. And I had him do the custom brass old school rivets.
That's sick. So you actually had him make this specifically for you?
I designed it exactly.
Oh my God.
He worked with me, blah, blah, blah. We made some mods. And I had him, I wanted it not to intervene with the actual continuous welt to put the fire steel holder on. I wanted
Smart.
it bolted right over.
Man.
And this thing is Armageddon ready. I mean, there's no joke. So, and he had a million different options for the design and pattern. He could do some hand tooling work. But I gotta tell you something, this maker is so reasonable. 9-10 ounce, I think it's Herman oak leather. He has all different leathers to choose from, different stitching colors, and by the way, when this thing breaks in, you got an actual click. It starts. I wanted it tight.
It's like Kydex.
Yeah. So that's my winter rig.
Oh man.
Heavily beeswaxed, by the way.
Oh, this is just a beautiful package. I love it. The only thing that bothers me about this is the fact that it's a safe clean.
You had to mention that. It's been in a bush a lot.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You could bring it and you'd be safe.
Of course.
All right, so for my winter blade, the reason why I chose this particular knife, one, it still has a coating on it. I haven't stripped it. You know, I've modded a lot of stuff, but it still has a coating on it. And I think there's something to be said about that. And again, keeping in mind that our choices were based on the collection that we currently have. So I had to keep that in mind. The second thing is, for me, I'm thinking a little bit bigger. I'm thinking a little bit maybe more survival-esque, where you're not just out in the bush to maybe process wood for a fire. I'm thinking maybe you're really in a survival situation where you have to make a shelter. So you might need some larger logs. You might need the ability to maybe fell a tree. Now, you're going to work your ass off no matter what you do with a knife. It's not an axe. I'm not going to pretend that it is, but you need just a little more thumping power. So that's why I made this choice.
Ooh, can't wait to see it.
So I'm going to ask you, do you know what this is?
Oh, is this more of a, is it a tool? I think it has a very unique, almost like a fro.
You'll find out.
Okay, and I tell you what, it's a great price. I think you can get, they've got them on clearance, the multicolored scale pack, the red, the blue, the green, I forget, for like $20. I love that.
It's a good guess, but you're wrong.
What? What? What is a BK29? Unfamiliar.
So this is the Moses Bowie. Okay, so there's a...
Holy Moses!
Yep, there's a Bundock Bowie and there's a Moses Bowie.
Interesting.
The BK20, I believe it is the one that they came out with for production. And they made a limited run, and then they came back out with this Moses Bowie for a very quick release, packaged up with a BK5 and the Snooty Snake Charmer.
No way!
It was a gorgeous temporary release. I snagged up on one, and so this here is my choice for winter.
Oh my gosh, what a great choice. A little bit more on the belly, a little bit more forward weight. I gotta tell you, for chopping, I could almost feel that forward weight. I think it would actually perform a little bit better than the 9. And you know, with the natural Bowie style, you do get a little bit more cutting towards the belly. So if you had to do some really, you know, you had one stick and you do like, you know, chain feed, boom, 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 you're not going to have to worry about leveling out that knife. Of course, feels totally comfortable to me. I know this handle's set up well. Oh my gosh, the BK20, do they still make it or no?
I don't know if you can still get this, and I don't think they're currently making it, but that would take a little bit of research. I'll annotate below. Now, in full disclosure, what I would really probably do, because I have many other sets of the micarta scales.
Okay.
I would put the micarta scales on this,
Yep.
with the main reason being then it's a little more balanced, just a little
I can see
more
that.
balanced.
Yep.
I'd add that little bit of handle
Totally.
weight just to kind of even it out. But for me, this is definitely going to give me a little more of that like ability to maybe help me make a shelter with a little more ease. Now there's one significant downfall I would say to this, and that's the fact that it has that swedge all the way across on the top. It's going to beat up a baton if you need to baton with it.
Not so bad.
It's not too bad. It is rounded out. It's not terrible. But I have done, I mean, you can see the coating's worn on.
So what?
It's, you know, I've done a good amount of splitting with this. It does a great job blowing through the wood. But to me, just having that extra little bit of power going towards the chopping tasks, I think is gonna come in key. And in combination with the fact that this still has the coating, it's gonna help protect the blade, it's gonna prevent a little bit of rust. And the other thing is, you can thrash and
I like
really,
those sheaths.
you can give a hard time to the crappy ballistic nylon sheath, but in the
good.
winter application, this is gonna be key. It's gonna help me actually keep my blade dry. Kydex can crack. Leather can sometimes hold moisture. Now leather might be the best choice. I don't know, I get a little bit kind of back and forth, but you can't really go wrong with the nylon. The nylon will definitely
Agreed.
serve its purpose. You can attach it to a pack easily.
Yep.
It's you know, something that you can put on a belt if you want to. Good overall retention. I'd probably do a Joe mod and maybe try to get a little bit more retention on the insert there.
Yeah, you could. I've done that before. I've pulled those out, and I've Kydex inserts, and it's amazing. But I will tell you what. We'll talk about something else. Eric makes a great point, and that could be a topic for another discussion. You know, sheaths for different conditions. Now, the one thing is that when you're out there, okay, and you're working through snow, through ice, and you're wearing a lot of bulk or whatnot, the least of your concern typically in the winter is to dry off your blade. So having that good coating is important, but sometimes you're working with you know, different types of organic material. It's going to stick to the blade. If it's snowing, the fire, they can get gunked up. That sheath is a good, nice, you know, mouth, so that you're not going to have to worry about, oh, let me get it completely cleaned. And in Kydex, okay, it's a little bit sometimes tighter and snugger. Dude, just drop it in. It's good. And with the strap right there, it's adjustable, it's gonna hold it in place. All weather condition sheath, nice pocket for a flashlight. Color combination is great, MOLLE backed. Again,
Lashing points, even if you want to put it around your leg.
great lashing points. Strap it to your side of your saddle and your horse, your four-wheeler, okay, your outrigging boat, whatever it is.
You can end up eating your horse if you need to.
Right? A lot you can do. And I tell you what, this is just amazing. Now, there's something else I want to touch base on, and I'm wary of it. It hasn't happened to me. We're very lucky, is that when you're out, typically in the winter, for protection, all right, the animals get a little bit fiercer. That's my thought. So think about this scenario. You're in 3 foot of snow, you're in up to your knees, you just kicked off your snowshoes, and all of a sudden you hear a band of coyotes. You can know they could be taking down a sick deer. You have potentially, in really northern territories, wolves, mountain lions. So I feel, and you have less chance to run. You're trying to escape through 3 feet of snow. Let's be real, the animal is on you. So I feel that the animals can get more dangerous in the winter, hence a bigger blade for safety and protection.
Very interesting
It's
point.
a different concept. I do think about these things. And with this buoy style and that, okay, swedge all the way through, let's just be real. You never want to have happen, but if it did, this is going to cover you in more ways than just making a shelter.
Yeah, great point.
Good system.
Yeah, so I think with that, do you understand a little bit more why I picked the BK9 for my fall choice?
Yeah, now it's making sense. We're going,
Right?
Yes,
So,
totally.
Just again, the concept that we're working within the blades we have in our collections. But what about all of you? What would you have picked for winter? I mean, you saw our fall choices, you saw our winter choices. Again, hashtag the out of doors. Leave some comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So both will perform well. I think for whatever you choose, okay, I think we're leaning towards a larger blade for the winter.
Absolutely.
We're spanning bigger logs. We're going to want to do some more chopping, getting that fire really raging so you're processing a lot more wood, larger wood to stay warm. That's why a bigger knife I think is going to do the job. So let's do some comparison here. And I was worried that a larger knife, Eric, would be too unwieldy. This is not at all. I would go this big and feel comfortable. This is really well executed. On a size comparison, same exact handles that we're comfortable with. Looks like you get a good full inch longer with the BK29, but that Choil mod is really nice, actually. Let me see, so take that, sorry. And then, oh yeah, you do get a little bit more forward motion with this. It feels really good. So now that I've seen this knife, I gotta tell you to swap it out. Again, whatever you have, be comfortable with. But if this was an option, I would take this too for the winter. This is K-Bar, bring this thing back.
Sick, right?
Go on, Ethan, do your magic.
And I think just one last discussion point. If you look at the depth of the blade up against that handle, they're exactly the same. So where you're starting to gain the mass is really through the belly, more towards the tip of the knife, and sort of in that sweet spot right in the sort of 3/4 mark along the length of it there, where the BK9 is pretty much the same depth the entire way. So you get two completely different geometries, maybe a personal preference, maybe, it goes one way or another for somebody, and that's the great thing about this line.
It is.
Different strokes for different folks.
It is. Not only that, is with different geometries, you're going to get, so you have a much more of a taller flat, okay, before we go into that swedge. This comes in about 2/3, okay? So this, in my opinion, will crack wood a little bit better.
It probably will.
So
That's a
batoning
cool,
for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to put these
for sure.
side by side, do a little comparison one of these days, a little field test versus, right?
I know, we should do it.
Beautiful.
Winter blades, nice.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Now, there's only one thing we forgot.
What?
Well, I don't think we forgot it. This really is a video series about drinking coffee, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Isn't every video series about drinking coffee or having a craft beer?
Yes. So with that, should we spark up the stove before we get into our next blades?
I'm ready to do it.
Let's do it. The iconic pack basket.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice bowls,
yeah, right?
Sweet.
All right, so I'm going to pull some stuff out here. And in here, love these old Peak 1, but we're going really old school. Don't want to make a fire in every forest.
No.
But in here we've got, if I can get it out.
Even though we could if we had to process some wood, I think we're equipped to do it today.
I know we could, Eric. I know we could do it. But we got here some old school action, okay? This is the 530A, so it's a second series of pocket stove for GI, US GIs in World War II. I think this was made between 46 and 49. But from servicemen and women throughout theater, World War II, feedback was tremendous. This thing has never been serviced. All I did was replace the cap with a more modern, the old ones had a little valve that pops up. There was like hemp or jute, and those do dry out, so I put the safety red. This is the new model. But this thing is going to make some mean coffee, cooks in any condition.
That thing rips, huh?
Yep, all Colemans take a minute to warm up. You're looking for that blue flame, but we'll get it.
And you're just pressurizing it?
Yep. I have a really full tank of fuel, so there's not much air room in there. I probably overfilled it, Normally you just prime it once and you're good for a
Oh,
while.
look at that thing's turning into a jet.
I mean, for what, 60, 70 years old almost. I mean,
Dude, that thing is sweet. That's
oh yeah,
a beautiful stove.
I love it. Love it even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gee, I lost my lighter. Blue is a great color for anything in this type of weather. I mean, again, it's just, oh, there it is. Your blacks, your earth tones, the reds and browns. We talked about that on your Mara with the blue or purple handle there. So good to have a good color lighter or knife scale.